You are listening to the Beaverton, North America's trusted source of news.
This week on the Beaverton, Rogers terminates Hockey Night in Canada. Bell terminates 700 employees. TELUS terminates the lives of all the animals from its old commercials. Carney was caught on a hot mic with Trump at the G7 talking about Chinese EVs. Trump was relieved the mic didn't pick up the part where he threatened to grab Chinese cars by the pussy. And the World Cup is off to a roaring start, featuring great crowds, fun atmosphere, and surprising results, assuming you are surprised when a soccer match ends in a draw. That's right, it's time to make fun of the news once again on the Beaverton Weekly Report. Welcome to the show, everyone. So glad you are tuning in. I'm your host, Luke Gordon-Field. Joining me this week are two of our regular panelists, both of whom think Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau aren't doing enough PDA, actually. Nile Seguin and Clare Blackwood.
I want to see tongues.
Yeah.
Just tongues.
It's an OnlyFans we all want to see. Just the tongues.
Yeah,
just waving tongues. I'm not going to king shame, whatever you're into.
Yeah, it's
thank
fine.
you.
Also, a very special guest, a political commentator and YouTuber whose show, The Rational National, breaks down the latest political news, exposes media and misinformation from all sides, and works to push society forward in a way that centers human rights and equality. David Doel is here. Welcome, David.
Hey, it's great to be here. And I noticed you all have your Beaverton mugs. I do want to say, I also have a Beaverton mug. I got a little story, just not really a big story, but just I was at the very first taping of the Beaverton show.
Wow.
And me and my partner were first in line to get our mug and get our whatever was signed by the hosts, Miguel and Emma.
Miguel and Emma, yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. And then did you also get the pen that died 2 seconds later, or did you just get the mug?
Yes, that's probably thrown out somewhere.
Yeah. We had two things of merch that were giveaways at the show. We had mugs that are great and have lasted the test of time, and pens that died instantly. Even in the writer's room, like the next day, we were like, well, this is a piece of shit. Tossing it out. But that's so awesome you came to the show. Thank you. So I did not know that. That's amazing. Well, thank you for coming to that taping years ago, 10 years ago now, Jesus, and for doing this show today. So you obviously cover politics, both in Canada and at large all the time. How are you finding as we transition to slumber? Are things getting calmer for you? Is it just a never-ending deluge of news? How are you feeling about things these days?
I mean, honestly, I feel terrible. Like the world is just the world is just terrible. It really is. It's incredibly hard to. I mean, it's getting to a point now where, especially anything with Trump, I'm glazing over it. Like it's like the UFC stuff. I would have covered that 24/7 coverage of like how insane this UFC thing is. Now to me, it's just like, yeah, of course he's doing that. Yeah, of course he's doing every single day there's something new with him that it's hard for me to even feel anything anymore. Like it's numbed me down to a point that probably isn't good. But
that's probably what they want.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's almost like that's the point. Yeah,
and it's working. I got to say they've done a fantastic job at killing my spirit. So
flood the zone, baby, flood the zone.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I think if there's anything that we say today that our listeners will identify with, it's that, which is just like we want to stay informed. We want to try and have interesting takes on the news. We want to not just point at that and go, what the fuck? But at a certain point with Trump, you do hit that point, and it happened a lot quicker in his second term than I think it did in his first term.
Honestly,
I think it was like the third year of his first term we were like, this is too much. But we're only like less than a year in.
I feel that I get that every so often, like once a week or so, where I'm like, remember blank? And it'll be like when they invaded Venezuela or threatened to invade Greenland. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that was a big thing at the time. Checks watch 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, they do move. Well, I guess I will segue into maybe some good news, although I think with a lot of caveats of we don't really know, which is Trump has reached a Memorandum of Understanding, not just for Alberta separatists, also for ending a war with Iran, a Memorandum of Understanding with Iran. Trump has said the details of which, he will not be released. J.D. Vance, who is apparently, this is a terrifying sense, who is apparently the principal negotiator of this, has suggested it's already signed, so the details are fully worked out, but we just don't know what's in them. Do you think they're keeping it secret because the deal is just too good and they don't want to make everyone else jealous?
I mean, you know what they say, loose lips sink ships trying to get through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, the little no crawlery to that phrase, yeah.
The good folks at CNN counted, which was very kind of them. He has said that there's some deal was in place 38 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at this
38.
point, at this point, I'm like, don't call me when you're in the city. Call me when you're in my neighborhood. I would love, here's a pitch for the room. I think the next time, because it's going to happen again, he's going to say we're close to a deal at some point. Because this is going to sink because I think Iran wants Israel out of Lebanon, and Lebanon is like, no, Lebanon. And Israel's like, nope, not happening.
Lebanon would be cool with that. I think
Lebanon would be pretty pro that. Anyways, I think the next time this story breaks, and it will, I want us to play this exact same clip.
Just don't even record it.
I want to see if any of our listeners notice. I don't think they will.
Yeah. Well,
so maybe a bit more generic with it then.
Yeah, maybe if they
I don't think so, because it's always the same beats.
Yeah, this might give it away. Maybe if they reach a deal, Iran will actually get to stay in the U.S. for their World Cup matches and not have to fly in and out of Mexico after every game.
I think this story will repeat before the end of July for sure.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I have a very hard time imagining this is going to have any sort of lasting impact, just because, I mean, really for me, I mean, obviously the Trump element, anything he says, any kind of deal he makes, you can't really trust him. But on top of that, Israel is sort of like the part of the equation here that is so unpredictable, or I should say they're actually completely predictable. They're going to break whatever deal's in place on them, and that's going to blow up the whole thing. So I have a hard time imagining this is going to have any sort of like real lasting impact, like Obama's Iran deal did. And, you know, arguably one of the best things he ever did was that Iran deal. And first thing Trump did when he came in the first term was rip it up.
Yeah, I mean, that was the, you know, and it's a great example of very easy to criticize, hard to actually do things, where, you know, from the sidelines, Trump just firing off tweets left and right. Oh my God, you're giving Iran billions. You know, this is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes into power. And, you know, what we know about this deal is that it does involve billions of dollars being unfrozen, aka given to Iran, in exchange for some kind of promise of not developing nuclear weapons, which presumably the U.S. will have some ability to verify, because you know, but will have nowhere near the same level of scrutiny as the first Iran deal, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action deal did, aka the Obama deal. It will also involve opening the Strait of Hormuz, which, as I'm sure no one needs to be reminded, but it is worth repeating, was fully open before the U.S. and Israel
5D chess, Luke.
I'm trying to think of any other war where the goal of the war so quickly became to undo the consequence of the war. You know what I mean? Like within 2 seconds of this war starting, the main goal of the U.S. in this war was to undo a thing that only existed because of the war. It'd be like if in World War II, Japan's main goal was to undo the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you put in the speed element, no, there's no war.
Let's unshoot Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah, I mean, that's the part that's truly impressive. You know, let's talk about the Israel side of it, because I agree that is the most important thing. You know, already there's many news reports coming out about how Israel is not on board with this. It supposedly represents a kind of fracture between Trump and Netanyahu. Trump said that Netanyahu, quote, has no fucking judgment.
The girls are fighting.
Yeah. It's always like there's always a worse bad guy. Like in any movie series, it's always like, all right, by movie 4 or whatever, it's like, the bad guy from the first one is like, okay, I was bad, but this guy's fucking nuts. And now Trump's doing that with Netanyahu, where it's like, oh, you think I'm bad? I
mean, I would watch something like Real Evil Housewives of the World, and it's just Donald Trump throwing his Diet Coke drink in Netanyahu's face, you know? You bitch!
There was a clip today.
Yeah.
Sorry, David, go ahead.
I was just kidding. There was a clip today of Trump saying something that, you know, it's weird that Netanyahu can sometimes make him sound sane. Trump was saying they don't have to bomb the entire apartment building if they think there's Hezbollah. And I'm like, yeah, obviously. Like, what? But Trump shouldn't be like, this is so obvious that I feel like Trump shouldn't be the one being held up to have to make the point that the rest of us have been talking about for years. Like the idea that there was any debate over how Israel has been acting over the past few years is absolutely insane. So yeah, I agree. They should not be bombing the entire building, but it's weird that Netanyahu can sometimes make Trump look like a normal person, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, it is truly like there was only one person worse than Donald Trump, and he's in charge of Israel. Like, it's like, yeah. I think you could scour the entire globe and find maybe 2 or 3 people worse than Trump, and one of them is running, you know, our greatest ally in the Middle East.
Unlike Trump, though, he is at least predictable. We always know what he's going to do because he's been saying it all along.
Way to find that silver lining.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I know.
You're turning it into an optimist, too.
I know, right?
It's happening, everybody.
But to the idea that there's a rift between Trump and Netanyahu, do we buy that this is a real rift, or is this like kind of a classic, like Trump pretending that he's, not on the outs with Bibi to help his negotiating with Iran, essentially playing the good cop to Bibi's bad cop?
I think it's more like dementia cop, bad cop. Like I don't think that Trump is mentally well or savvy enough to play any kind of cop.
Yeah.
He's so wrapped around Netanyahu's finger that it's just I don't give him any credit for anything.
I actually am going to 180. You know, a few months ago, I declared that he was sundowning. I don't believe that anymore. I think it's just all flood the zone. I don't believe anything that, like, I don't pay attention to anything that comes out because I just think it's there to tire us out. I don't, every time a Trump story comes up, I'm like, sure, what? Sure. Like this, because we just punch ourselves out and then we're just like exhausted.
So you are buying the 5D chess argument. Like he is
I think his
outfoxing us.
whole thing, he's just filling the van with cash, just lacing his pockets and trying to avoid like the Epstein story. Like I think I don't think there's any like great plan. I don't think there's a president there.
That's
I think
what I'm
he's
saying
just
as well.
like a scam artist.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing, but coming from different sides. There's no plan. Like, there's no like him being like, I'm gonna pretend.
Oh,
to,
I mean,
like,
sorry,
be,
you know, right? I guess the plan is fill your pockets.
Yeah, sure.
That's the plan.
Yeah. Try stay out of jail.
Stay out of jail.
Fill your pockets.
Loot and like just smash and grab.
Yeah.
Another thing Netanyahu and Trump can bond over. Staying out of jail and smashing and grabbing.
The thing with these stories too is like this stuff was coming up while Biden was president, where it's like, oh, Biden had an angry call with Netanyahu, and then nothing came of it. What actually matters is, are you going to stop sending them money? Are you going to stop sending them bombs? Are you going to somehow stop your, whatever, like any sort of relations with Israel? Are you going to interrupt that in any kind of way? Until that happens, it's hard to really think that Trump is actually angry at Netanyahu if everything just stays the same.
But David, have you considered that Gwyneth Paltrow told me there's some really nice apartments coming out in some random town in Israel I've never heard of?
If I had no opinion on her before,
David.
New York? No. Israel.
It's amazing
so why
how,
would we
like, my
interrupt
opinion on it's amazing how an opinion on a celebrity can just change in a second based on, I mean, not that Gwyneth Paltrow was, my favorite celebrity beforehand, but just like,
I was going to say, I had zero.
It was already low. It was already low, but the Israel stuff took it even lower.
I liked how
incredible.
blissfully unaware of her own career she was, where she'd be interviewed multiple times. They'd be like, so when you were in Spider-Man? And she was like, I was never in Spider-Man. And they were like, no, you absolutely were in Spider-Man. And she just didn't remember that she did it or didn't ever know what movie that was and thought it was an Iron Man movie. Like, I enjoyed that, but also that does sort of explain how she could be so blissfully unaware of the human tragedy that is happening caused by the country she's endorsing.
There was an article a few days before that where she was in an interview and said that my husband thinks I'm Republican, but I think I'm more centrist. And then it comes out that she's doing these ads for Israel. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I think it's pretty clear where you sit. Yeah,
she was soft launching that. So the other, and to your point about Trump pissing off Netanyahu and pissing off Israel, like there's already polls out today that Trump's approval rating in Israel, which it has been sky high, it's the only place in the world where it's sky high, has cratered because they don't think he's doing enough to help their war efforts. And, for all the, very fair criticisms we level at Netanyahu and what a war criminal he is, which he is, the idea that things will get better when he's out of office, like the opposition in Israel has come out and said that Trump is not letting us go far, like Netanyahu's not going far enough. Like their opposition is that Netanyahu is not waging war with Iran more intensely and war in Lebanon more intensely and war in Gaza more intensely. So like this is... it'd be hilarious if it wasn't so fucked up that the only real opposition to Netanyahu in Israel is that he's mad. They're mad that he's not a bigger war criminal. But that's sort of the situation there. So there's poll after poll that since Trump said that thing about you don't have to blow up all the houses and like Netanyahu has no judgment, that like his support is cratering because like that voting public, and there are many exceptions, but that voting public overwhelmingly wants to see this war escalate and broaden and horizon.
And people just be wiped from the map. Like,
and the Greater Israel Project.
Yeah, like
that's
100%.
That's really too bad because that's going to ruin Trump's 2028 Israel bid, right?
Oh.
Is he going to run for office there?
That would be, I mean...
Would you put it past
He's going to have to escape somewhere. He's going to have to run because we're coming. Like, I would hope that whoever comes in next is going to go after him. Like he's going to have to. He's going to be on the run.
Yeah, but he's just going to be dead.
know.
But like if that, you were the most he's gonna die. You were taking polls and bets.
You know what got me was the 250th anniversary Milli Vanilli. I was like, oh, it's a scam. He's just running a scam because that felt so much
Whilst
like just,
falling asleep.
that. I don't trust any of it. I don't trust any of it. Like, no, don't trust this guy at all. It's scam vibes. Scam vibes.
A few weeks ago on this podcast, okay, probably a couple months ago now, you were furious that we hadn't given you credit for being the
100%.
first one to call him out as a sundowning, about to die dude.
No, I was
and now
furious.
you've gone completely the
I
other
was
way.
furious because you claimed you had, but there was no tape. I was the only one that had tape. Now I'm retracting that tape because I was loud wrong. This guy's the ultimate scam artist.
I think two things can be true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, guys, check the scoreboard. We keep talking about how he's sundowning, and it's just like it keeps getting worse.
How do you explain the hand, though? All the makeup on the hand. What's wrong with the hand?
Yeah, he's getting injections. He's getting IV.
He's probably getting injections, but he's still a scam artist. I don't think he's like sundowning. I think he might be physically ill. There's only so many. He's like, what, 80% Big Mac at this point? Like, I'm sure he's not doing well physically.
His blood runs in Diet Coke.
Diet. That is very generous.
No, he drinks Diet Coke.
Does he really?
Yeah, no, he's obsessed with Diet Coke.
Yeah.
He has a bun.
He's gotta watch
Don't
his
you remember
health.
that story of the bun on the desk and they bring him a Diet Coke?
Yeah.
That'll fix it, Donald. That's great.
I mean, in fairness, he does drink a ton of Diet Coke, but he also famously had the quote of, I've never seen a skinny person drinking Diet Coke, which is a shitty judgment, but also as someone who drinks a lot of Diet Coke, I'm like, well, you nailed me. So you got me there. But yeah. So, well, we've already mentioned, but let's segue into the absurdity, the pageantry, the everything of Trump's birthday party being a /US 250th anniversary no holds barred cage match, just like the founders wanted.
I just want to tell everybody listening, if you want a laugh, just Google something like Freedom 250 motorcycle jumps, because it's just this, I think, like 16-second video of like, and they're just jumping and doing flips in front of the White House lawn, and it gets funnier every single time. It's like a 12-year-old's version of Mad Max birthday party. I love it. So anyway, check that out.
Yeah, someone watched Fury Road and was like, what if we did knockoff version of that? The other thing that broke me of it was, and I don't know why this is what got me, because the whole thing was obviously so absurd, was because they're doing all this bullshit to the White House construction, they didn't want to just have the White House in the background because it's a construction zone. So like a historical building, when they're doing work on it, they put up a fucking, like, not a tarp, but like a screen of the White House to match what it would have looked like if the White House was there.
Love it.
So it was just the top of the real White House, and then and it was done well-ish, but like then a photo on some cardboard of the White House.
No notes. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I don't know. That was the moment where I was like, so we're just in the fucking,
Yes.
we're just in the upside down. Okay. Well, first of all, did anyone watch the actual UFC event? I'm not a UFC guy.
I quite literally would rather watch Game 7 of the World Series again.
Oh, that's a hard
Then watch Freedom
That's a
250.
good
That is
question,
how.
actually.
Yeah.
That is how much I did not want to watch any of that shit.
Fair, that's fair. Claire, for those who are not watching and are listening, Claire is currently wearing a Blue Jays jersey. But yes, that's a great description of how much you want to watch. It's the worst thing we can think of in
That's the
recent
best,
memory.
yeah.
I am only peripherally aware of this story. I heard like rumblings in the zeitgeist as soon as it came up. I was like, nope, not at all. I'm not giving any of my piece to the story. I have no idea what happened. This is also the first I'm hearing about it. It's fantastic. And by the way, I want him to keep doing this. I want him to go full America. I want Air Force One on blocks on the front of the White House lawn. Just a barbecue, just full trash. Let's do it.
I mean, they
lazy boy.
Didn't they do this thing that, like, when the fighters were walking out, they had 2 honor guards walk behind them, so the police had to salute the wrestlers.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I
that's right.
I didn't see that video.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, I didn't watch it either.
Amazing.
I mean, you had to pay to watch it, right? Pay-per-view. So if it was free, I may have just after the, I think Game 7 was, or not Game 7, Game 6, the NHL finals were on. I may have after that just checked it out, but I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to give Dana White anything. Maybe I'll steal it to feel good. Maybe and not even watch. Just steal it, have it on a different computer, but don't actually watch it. Just have it there streaming. so I'm
Yeah, that's
stealing
the
from
most
him.
like
But
justified. I'm torrenting this illegally stream of all time. If you did want to watch, like, if you love UFC and you're like, I hate the politics of it, but I just genuinely enjoy the sport of UFC, which I'm sure there's very few people because the Venn diagram of people who love Trump and love UFC pretty close to a circle. But there is probably a shade of people who are like, no, I like martial arts and I don't like Trump and it's not fair. So I'm sure there are people out there like that. But yeah, if you did, I truly hope that you torrented it and did not give any money to the UFC organization, to Donald Trump. Because the whole thing was sponsored by Trump Coin. And it was all, to Niall's point, it was all very clearly a scam.
Come on, guys.
We all know it's a scam. I'm not denying that. But to say that the fact that he's scamming us means he's also not sundowning is where I would disagree with you. But anyways, so at this point, are we, I mean, obviously this degrades the office of the president. This degrades the White House. Is that even possible to do anymore? Have we hit the floor? Is there any further to go?
He'll take us. He'll take us. Come on.
I
What are
shouldn't
you
ask
talking about? He's the Michael
What's
Jordan
left?
of whatever this is. You cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him. There's always another level where we're like, what? You ask what's left, and that's just like saying Beetlejuice 3 times. He'll show us. He'll show us for sure.
Every time you think you're in the basement, he opens a hatch and there's a sub basement, and you're like,
What do you guys? Okay, we know it's going to happen. What do you guys think it's going to be? Just off the top of your head, what's the next?
AVN Awards.
So the what?
Oh, it's the Porn Awards.
The what?
The Porn
Oh,
Awards.
the porn awards. Oh.
Yes,
Like
solid.
Which he hosts
I only
it.
knew there was an award show because friend of the show, I think did the show once or twice back in the day, but a comedian I really like who used to be in Toronto, Steph Tolev, hosted the AVN Awards one year, and I was like, there are porn awards? And apparently it's a real thing. I think they're almost always in Vegas for obvious reasons.
So we're 26. Yeah, it's going to happen. I'm going to say sooner rather than later. I'm going to say 27. I like that. I can't top that.
I'm gonna say some sort of Miss America pageant, but like worse,
Right.
because those women are actually intelligent, very successful people. So it has to be people that like, unfortunately, are in a position where they can't say no, and it's gonna be terrible. That's what I'm gonna say.
I got one. Oh, I'm so excited. And this will happen. McDonald's in the White House.
He already did that.
What? Like a fully functional. like a
Richie Rich
functional
style. I have
staff.
McDonald's in my
There's a
basement.
With a
McDonald's,
drive-through?
like a
Drive-through?
drive-through. There will be a drive-through. You got to clear security, and then it will be fully accessible to the public after a security clearance.
Yeah.
I was going to say he was going to like demolish the White House, but he's already done that partly. So
I wonder if it's going to be like a golden statue of himself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I can see
maybe
that.
that's not
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
That's not. It's not worse than UFC.
They're building the golden
Yeah.
arch of. No, it's not golden, but they're building. That's McDonald's. But they're building the arch, the victory arch, whatever they're calling the Trump arch. That's going to have a shit ton of gold on it. That's the next thing they're building.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that we have to worse than UFC. The bar is at UFC on the White
I
House
understand.
lawn.
Yeah.
I don't think that's worse than. It's not great, but it's not worse than UFC.
I mean, America was founded upon the values of fighting each other.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it's in the anthem,
Yeah,
right?
originally fighting the British, but yeah,
Yeah,
close
fighting
enough.
people.
Fighting for sure.
Old lyrics is all like, then we kicked that guy's ass, right? Or something? Is that the last lyric?
I think in Hamilton, yeah.
Alexander Hamilton.
Hamilton.
And we kicked his ass.
Oh, maybe he'll change the anthem. You know what? I'm withdrawing the McDonald's. He will put his name in the anthem.
I could see.
That's a good-
Oh,
it's gonna
happen.
no,
It's gonna
that
happen.
I
It's
could
gonna
see
happen.
that.
Late 27.
See, the
His
reason
face
I
on a
mentioned his
flag.
name.
His face on a
Yeah.
flag, like
Yeah.
a new Trump
Yeah,
flag.
Yep.
See, the reason I think the McDonald's and the don't go far enough is because like those are easily reversible. He needs to do things like with the reflecting pool which is now green with algae because of the shitty job he did. Like he needs to do things that people can't just change with one stroke of the pen. When
Is
the
that
new
where
guy
the bar
comes
is?
in.
I was just thinking like shitty, just like
Yeah.
UFC on the White House.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
keeps taking
Embarrassing
it lower.
spectacle.
Yeah, but I think like,
embarrassing spectacle.
for sure. But like the arch is a thing. He's like, well, they're not going to knock it down. Like that's the
Right.
thinking there. Which I mean, I hope we do. But yeah. So the other thing that I think came out of the UFC fight, other than, and I'm not giving this any leverage, but just so people think we didn't forget about it, how horrifying it was one of the fighters calling Michelle Obama a man, horrific, transphobic garbage. But that was emblematic of the event as a whole. And then the other thing that was people being surprised, sort of, that some people they liked showed up. Michael Irving, the famous football player, a couple comedians like Shane Gillis and Nate Bargatze. How do you, Nate Bargatze, especially because he's got a movie coming out, so he doesn't want to piss off half the country, or really like 2/3 of the country at this point. And his people immediately put out a statement being like, he's not political. He just really loves UFC, which by all accounts is complete bullshit. He's a very big pro-Trump guy. But how do you feel about celebrities like Nate Bargatze, going to events like this, putting their arms around Trump and putting their arms around like House Republicans and stuff, but then saying like, like, I'm not political, I'm just here for the event and to honor the country and all that stuff.
I think they're full of shit.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, go ahead, Don.
Oh, I didn't. I just was going to say that I would have to be surgically altered to give a shit about this story. I just don't care about these people. I don't care what their political affiliations are. This feels like, it feels like I'm just protecting my peace. Whatever.
I mean, I do think it's important to just kind of reiterate all the time that everything is political. Them showing up as political, them hugging them as political. Like, there's no way to get around it. It's like the people who get pissed off at Pride Night saying, I don't care if you're gay, just don't
be gay.
Don't be gay in sports.
Just stop.
Like,
Just stop.
Keep politics out of sport. Like, there's no way that you cannot be political in this world whatsoever, and it never has been.
I think that the best defense that they could make, not that I agree with this, but is that they may be looking at this as a once in a lifetime experience. This is never going to have no future president's going to have a UFC fight at the White House, and they want to be able to say in 30 years, hey, I was a part of that. But what they're not realizing is that that's not going to be a thing you want to brag about in 30 years. You're going to be looked at as somebody who was essentially a Nazi ally. Yeah. So you should probably, as a celebrity, want to stay as far away as possible from Trump and the UFC at this point.
There was that argument when the Dodgers won the World Series again, and they had said that they were going to go to the White House, and Dave Roberts, who's the manager, was just like, well, it's tradition, you never get the chance to go to the White House, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, that's not good enough. It's not good enough, my dude.
Yeah, especially since there's so many examples of teams that have already refused to do that.
Yes.
So you can't be like, oh, well, we'd be like, there's no examples of people not going to the White House. It's like, there's many examples.
Yes.
Like, no NBA team has gone, I think, under Trump, I don't think.
Really? Cool.
Yeah. Like,
if you really want to go to the White
House. Of course, the NHL teams all have, of course, because my sport's garbage. But, I still love it. I don't think all the MLB teams went. I could be wrong about that. But, I think almost all the football teams have, unsurprisingly.
So you're not political. You're just like hockey. Oh, my God, everybody. Luke's trending now.
I can like hockey without giving it any of my money, and I'm trying very hard to do that.
To be fair, but most of those NHL teams were also from Florida. Like, we're talking like 2 Tampa championships, 2 Florida Panthers. Like, so it's a lot of course they're going to go and see Trump. Like, that's just part of their MO.
The players aren't from Florida, right? Are they? That'd be nuts.
No,
if you met a hockey player,
they've embraced the Florida person inside of them.
Peer pressure is a big thing, I think, especially.
And a lot of hockey players don't talk to them about politics because it's not going to end. You're not going to feel good after it.
Yeah, it's rough. Carter Hart, the Vegas goaltender, who's also known for being a horrific human being who committed sexual assault but got away with it, was like walking around the Stanley Cup Finals with a Free Alberta shirt on, like endorsing Alberta independence. Like, there are there's so many examples of just true pieces of shit.
CET, guys.
But they're, fuck, I love the game so much. Anyways, but I'm not going to a fucking Trump hockey event, that's for sure. God. So, I mean, I think the thing with the celebrities, to your point, David, about like, not only are they going to not want to remember it, like Nate Bargatze within a few years is going to be paying people to scrub those photos from the internet so that no one to try and erase his place in the history books as celebrity patsy of this horrific administration.
I don't know.
I mean, I genuinely, I'm not saying, like, especially if your brand is I'm a right winger, you won't, for sure. They'll embrace it. But if your brand is I appeal to all, I'm a 4-quadrant guy, I appeal to everyone, in a few years, you're going to have to pretend you had nothing to do with Trump. Just like, and by a few years, maybe it's 10 to 15, just like people who grew up in the South in the 60s had to pretend they weren't horrific racists and all those things.
I mean, but also I think there'll just be another Nate Bargatze. He's not irreplaceable. He'll just be like Louis C.K., right? Like, he's still doing, I think, theaters or whatever, but
I don't
fortunately off of my feed.
He has a new Netflix special coming out, though.
He does.
Does he really?
Yeah, I saw because I didn't watch the clip and I saw it on my feed today. I'm like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the CBC actually did a very good documentary on that, and it was interesting because it didn't have a huge Canada connection, so it was an interesting choice for them. But it was a great documentary on someone who is coming back and maybe shouldn't be, but how do you deal with forgiveness? And it was then a lot of the people who were victims of him spoke out for like on camera for the first time. Like Jen Kirkman did pretty extensive interviews. Like, it was a very fascinating documentary. It's worth checking out. I'm pretty sure it's still on Gem if anyone wants to watch it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, just the whole forgiveness thing is like, well, you gotta say you're sorry first, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm always thinking about Mark Harmon. No, not Mark Harmon. Harmon of Community.
Yeah.
Is it Mark Harmon?
Dan Harmon.
Dan Harmon. That was a proper apology. That was
Right, yes.
when he apologized to Megan Gantz.
Yeah.
On the record, completely like, I messed up. This is exactly what happened. She was 100% right. Like, there was no denial. There was no, I'm sorry you felt that way. Or there was there's no like, oh, I was this. He's like, no, I fucked up. And I mean, like, then we can talk about like, okay, let's move on after you said, yeah, I fucked up. But
Totally.
I don't know. Louis C.K.'s never done that.
No, he put out like a statement, but that's about that.
Yeah, and then like
Mr.
disappeared
Edgy.
for 2 months and then
Yeah.
came back and
I talk about everything except for words about me.
comedy's legal.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, segueing back to our news stories, let's talk about the G7, which is going on. I believe it's in Italy right now. Yeah, everyone's so excited. Well, to that point, like, do we think, like, the G7 obviously had its kind of heyday in the 90s and 2000s, the kind of like post-communist, you know, what people were calling the end of history, like we're going to be this multilateral, neoliberal future, blah, blah, blah. Is it still relevant, or is it like the League of Nations meeting after World War II had already started? Like, is the G7 still a thing we should talk about?
I think it's nice that occasionally our leaders get to go to somewhere nice and pretty and talk about the plight of the poors.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I love that for them.
To your point, like, every band has only so many albums. And then it's over.
Yeah. They're in their greatest hits era.
They're in the
Yeah.
greatest hits. They're just touring casinos now.
Yeah.
Play Freebird!
I do feel like it's
all right. Sorry.
it's only as strong as the leaders in it. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to take the G7 seriously when they're all still treating Trump as someone to even have a discussion with. Like, it's so clownish. So yeah, I have a hard time taking it seriously.
That's totally fair. Yeah, I mean, I think the agenda this week was Ukraine, which it has been, ever since the Russian invasion, further sanctions on Russia, further commitments to the security of Ukraine, which is, I think, wonderful. Most people would welcome that, while simultaneously being like, and how do we bring peace to the Middle East? As if it's not like, oh, hey, we got to stand up to this aggressor on one hand, and on the other hand, we need a two-state solution with Israel at the table. And like, just like the language disparity in how they address Russia, horrific, and how they address Israel, equally horrific, but we're just going to pretend it's not, is kind of one of the biggest things that always is, I think, so apparent when they're at these kind of multilateral places where they're going to negotiate new agreements and impose more sanctions on Russia. It's like, oh, and also like Israel, yeah, we're going to issue another statement. And it's like, all right, anything else? Nope, nothing we can do. And it's like, well, you're just doing it. You literally just did it earlier when you announced those sanctions. You could do that. Nah, what would that do? But the other story that came out of it was Carney was overheard reassuring Trump on a hot mic that Chinese EVs will only make up a small percentage of the Canadian market, as the deadline, the July 1st, I believe, deadline for the renewal of the Canada, United States, and Mexico Free Trade Agreement approaches. Trump on the hot mic was like, good, I like that, when Carney told him there was like a pretty strict quota of how many EVs were coming in. We're so close. We're already past the midpoint of June, and it's been obviously quite a while since Trump started talking about not renewing this. Is there any chance the deal gets done, or is this just, you think it'll get done?
Wow, that was decisive.
I don't think Trump is pulling out of Kuzma.
No?
No, I don't think so. I think he has so many people in the States lobbying him, saying this is a good thing, because it is. It's still going to happen till 36, I think, is 2036. It has to go, and then he has otherwise he can say 6 months from now I'm leaving. But I think he has too many people saying it's a good thing for him to leave, and this is just all of this shit that he's pulling. It feels just like typical Trump negotiating tactic, and I think the thing that I would rather focus on is like Carney in what he either gives up or concedes or doesn't concede, and that's what I'm kind of looking for.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way you could interpret the last year of Carney is as he goes around and makes deals with other parties and stuff, as him trying to essentially increase leverage in Trump. Like, essentially, like not unlike a sports GM who's trying to acquire draft picks to use in a big trade. So like that's one way you can interpret all these deals he's made with Europe and all the times he's talked about Canada, flirting with joining the EU and all that stuff. Is you could see all of that as him trying to like increase his. When we do get to that table with the U.S., here's, all the arguments I can make of, well, if you fuck us, we'll go do this, X, Y, and Z. And I think that's not a bad strategy if you're dealing with a rational actor. But I don't think we're dealing with a rational actor.
No, and I think there is a distinct possibility that Trump could come to the negotiating table and just use the other option, which is we're going to just look at this every single year.
Yeah.
That seems when I say logical.
Logical by Trump standards, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that Trump is even going to abide by any deal he signs. Wasn't he already violating Kuzma through the tariffs? Like he doesn't. It seems like he'll just do whatever he wants, regardless of whatever deal exists. So whether a deal is done or not, to me doesn't matter. What matters is it actually going to be enforced? Is Trump actually going to follow it? Well, because if he's not, and he's showing he doesn't care about any sort of agreements he already has, then how can we even trust anything that's actually going to get done?
I mean, I do agree with you, but I think most of the stuff that Trump has put tariffs on is still under Kuzma.
You mean most of the stuff that wasn't tariff was still under Kuzma?
No,
right?
like the tariffs that he's put on things, we are still shielded from because of Kuzma.
Right, but we're saying the same thing two different ways. But yes, okay. So like the most of the Kuzma products that are subject to the Kuzma agreement were exempt from the tariffs. And I do think that's broadly true. I do think, David, to your point, like Trump will violate deals, left and right. He will do, expecting Trump to even know what's in a contract, let alone follow the terms of a contract, is obviously too much to hope for. I think when he's dealing with other countries, there's certainly been an example of he signs a piece of paper with Europe one day and 2 days later threatens to he signed a deal with Europe on trade, and then I think a week later or 2 months later was and also, we're going to tariff Europe to hell. And it's but you just signed this deal. And I'm not sure if he ever actually did anything on that, but he just, he will just shoot his gun into the air for as long as it takes until someone, I guess, gives him what he thinks is a win.
Or every single car manufacturer in the States comes up and says, "Fuck you! You can't back out of this."
Yeah, I mean the one thing that if we've learned anything from the never-ending deal with Iran is that the weak spot with Trump is economics. It's more so than anything else. He's perfectly happy to get into obviously with having such a large military, he's perfectly happy to get into a war. But when you hurt the United States economically, that is when he is most likely to go whoa, okay, let's take a second here, even at the cost of not listening to Netanyahu and stuff. So obviously, any announcement that Kuzma is not being renewed or is being completely tossed in the garbage is going to send U.S. markets and Canadian markets into free fall. So that would presumably be his weak spot. But at the same time, all of his tariffs announcements have caused the markets to free fall, and that hasn't stopped him from doing it. So I don't know. I'm not as confident as you, Claire. I want to be as confident as you that it will be just renewed, and then we'll get into the weeds of what David was talking about, which is how much will he actually listen to what's the renewal. But we're getting so close to it that I'm more concerned that we're running out of time here. And sure, with a rational person, we could go around the negotiating table and order some pizzas and negotiate over and, just pull an all-nighter until the deal gets done. But with Pizza Trump, I just don't know. Yeah, we can get him some Diet Coke, maybe it might help. Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't think that what is going to come out of this, and maybe this is me being weirdly positive again.
Hey.
I know. I don't think what's going to come out of this is Trump saying, "Fuck this deal, I'm out, it's done."
Yeah.
That's what I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're right.
But I think we should all just watch what Carney gives up.
I don't have
that's a great point.
I don't have a hot take on this because Vegas gives odds on everything but this. Did you know? There are no odds.
You can't bet on this on
There's
Kalshi
no Kalshi odds. There's no
poly market.
There's no poly market odds. You can bet on when we're going to have contact with intelligent alien life, but they have no number for Kuzma because people are like, I don't know, man. That for me, I saw that and I was like, okay, I don't know. Can't we just cover the Gordie Howe bridge in gold and give it to him? Oh my God. Just give it to Eric. Here, fuck off.
The Eric Trump Gordie Howe bridge.
Just pay him off. It's what he wants, for God's sake.
The Kennedy Center.
We're trying to pay him off. We've been trying to pay him off.
Just under the table. Literally under the table.
Well, they might be doing that, and we won't hear about it if they are. But if they are, that'd be the most
Let's do it.
That would be if there was full on bribery happening. That would get the highest approval of any bribery situation in history. People would be like, you got to do what you got to do with Trump. You know how he plays the game.
You could have a referendum.
Yeah,
the country would vote pro bribe. Give him a gold plane.
Where's Danielle Smith when you need her? Okay, it's gonna be a referendum on whether we should should bribe Trump.
And everyone, no matter how badly they got hosed in their taxes, they pass the hat around and be like, yeah, sure.
Great,
Here's
great,
mine.
great.
Here's mine. No, hold on. Let me go get some money.
Carney's just going to change the sovereign wealth fund to the bribe Donald Trump fund.
Maybe that's what it
I'm
is.
putting all of my taxes in there.
Maybe that's what it is.
That would make so much more sense than what it's supposed to be. If this is just a
my God.
massive fund to bribe Trump,
That would be great.
as opposed to taking out debt to invest.
Wink, wink.
And the other, like, he's given up the digital service tax, like that was like a year ago.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been thing after thing after thing that Carney has given up already. And it's like, you're not going to work with Trump that way. I actually think you're onto something here. Like paying him under the table, doing the business that he understands, like the mob mentality of working with him. That's what he gets. And that's how you have to do this.
Under the table, over the table, airdrop it on the White House lawn in the middle of a UFC fight. Let's do it.
I'm saying if we give him a gold statue of himself to put in front of the White House,
sure.
I feel like he would lay off the whole thing.
I mean,
Kuzma, done.
Didn't
Immediately.
get Qatar
Qatar bought
set
him
the
a
bar.
plane. Yeah.
So 2 planes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Statue
Air
of
Force
Liberty,
One and
but
a
the
half.
statue of Donald Trump. That's what you
Yes.
get. That's
Statue
what he
of
wants.
Donald Trump.
It's literally just the Statue of Liberty, 5 inches bigger, with his face photoshopped on top badly.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's it.
It's a slightly bigger. It's like how, and this is a real story, on 9/11, Trump, who owned some building at the time, I forget which one, I guess the Empire State Building, called into a news station as everyone was panicking and bemoaning the situation, fair, of course, and he just went, well, I have the biggest building in New York now, because the Twin Towers were the biggest building and they were down. So now the Empire State Building that he owned, sort of, I think, not really, he was like, biggest building, Donny boy. And
He's
like,
the biggest
oh my
narcissist.
God.
That's the only way
Yeah.
to work with him is to play to his ego.
Yeah.
100%. Well, I think we've solved it, guys. We figured
Great.
out Trump. It only took us
Just hire us.
12 years, or
Yeah.
roughly.
Yeah. So somebody talk to Mark Carney.
Yeah. Get us on the team.
Is he listening?
Yeah. He's
Hi,
a
Mark.
patron.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, he's a $4 tier. You can bump it up, but whatever. All right. Well, before we move on to our big finish, a quick message to you, the listener. First of all, thanks for checking out the show. If you haven't already, and why wouldn't you have? Feel free to jump on your app of choice, leave 5 stars, leave a review, say what you liked about the show, give us a shout out on social media, share our video clips, tell your friends to watch it. It all helps us grow this thing to be the biggest and best thing it can be. And we really appreciate everyone who has done so far. There's been some great comments and reviews on recent episodes. We really, really appreciate it. There was one great comment on our Patreon from Kevin when we were talking about regulating social media companies. And he said, I saw an interesting article about that on Facebook. Oh, wait, no, I didn't, because we tried to impose regulations on them and they bailed, which honestly is still a win. So shout out Kevin, good comment there. Also, if you want to support us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/thebeaverton. Not only will we be keeping the podcast going, keeping the website alive, you'll also get an extended cut version of this episode every week where we talk about some stories we didn't get covered on the rest of the show. This week we covered Doug Ford's attempt to expand Billy Bishop Airport according to plans that he is currently drawing in crayon on the back of a napkin, and all the chaos that will ensue. So again, if you want to throw us a couple bucks, we truly appreciate it. Patreon.com/thebeaverton. And a big thank you to some new Patreon supporters we got this week, Armadico, Kathy McNair, and Rachel Maltner, as well as some of our OG Patreon supporters, Johanna Zeman, Wander, and Tiff. So thank you so much, Patreon supporters. And now it is time for the approximately 10-minute long quiz.
It's the approximately 10-minute long quiz. Brought to you by Time.
Every week, I ask our panelists to play the approximately 10-minute long quiz where we put their knowledge of some less widely reported news stories to the test. Panel, your first question. The Conservatives unveiled a new attack ad showing Canadians struggling under Mark Carney's economy. There was just one problem with the ad. What do you think it was?
Okay, I'm going to say I remember Polyev putting out another attack ad earlier and the jets were Russian instead of Canadian. I think that's what it was. So I'm going to say they used the images of the British Prime Minister instead of the Canadian Prime Minister.
You know what? I don't like Keir Starmer. You're right.
I think it bankrupted the party because they had to advertise during FIFA. The rates were insane. Mm-hmm. They ran it once and they're like, oh no, what have we done?
The Super Bowl rates are, yeah. Neither of those, sadly. David, any guesses?
So Canadians struggling under Mark Carney. I'm going to guess they forgot to include a picture of Pierre Poilievre's polling numbers.
Ooh, also a good guess. Stay down, Pierre. You've been down for a long time. Stay there. No, sadly, none of those. Does anyone know the real story?
I could be wrong. I thought I saw a little thing about it. Wasn't it just like they weren't Canadians?
Nope.
No,
it
that's
wasn't
not
They
it.
Were
Okay,
Canadians.
that must have been
You're-
something else.
it's-
AI, right?
It was AI. They weren't real people.
Okay, that's what I was like. They
Sorry.
weren't real Canadians. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
I was
they're not
close to
real
giving you the
Canadians,
point, but yeah. Yes, it was a necessary but not sufficient
Yeah.
component. Yeah,
Totally.
it was an entirely AI ad. A new attack ad posted to Twitter shows a grim warehouse and an interminable line of people with empty shopping carts. Community food bank. A banner reads, "Food pickup ensoterry." That's an AI ad for you there. I think they were trying to write inside and fucked up royally. Very bad at generating text. Then one AI avatar says, "We haven't eaten today." And the other AI avatar says, "Yeah, but we're only technically hungry though, because it's only a technical recession." That is a perfectly effective attack ad. The Conservatives make more than any other party in donations.
Yeah.
Why not just run why not just make a real fucking ad?
That is so low rent. It's so low. Like, I'm like embarrassed for them now,
Yeah.
which is weird because I don't care for them at all.
Thought they couldn't stoop lower than hiring non-union people for their non-union commercials, but they proved me wrong.
Yeah. They were like, those non-union people are too good actors. Let's get a fucking AI bot, and we can't look at their lips because they're giving away that they're not really speaking. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Poilievre's just blowing all his money on wood. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, they use an AI ad. So point to David on that one. Next question. The World Cup is underway, of course, and that means two things: drunk Europeans singing songs in their native language that are probably pretty racist, and merch. But what unofficial World Cup product has FIFA demanded a Toronto shop owner stop selling?
Cocaine. FIFA cocaine. Have you ever had some? It's amazing. I'm on it right now.
He has started frothing at the mouth.
You're in the right world.
Oh my God.
It's not a point. I'm not giving you a point, but you're in the world.
I was going to say, is it a sex toy thing? But now I don't think that's the right answer.
Oh, that'd be more fun.
No?
Yeah.
I was going to say,
This dildo is shaped exactly like Maradona.
I was going to say something that offends Donald Trump because he's apparently handing off now the World Cup to the winning team, which to me, that sounds insane. So I'm going to guess whatever product this is, it offends Trump in some way.
No, but it is insane that they're letting him do that. And they've also said he's going to raise it. Like, he's not just going to hand it over. He's going to raise it like he fucking won it.
That's how you do business with them, man.
I know. And they give him that
Make-A-Wish
fucking award,
presidency.
too,
It's
right?
I was going to say, they treat him like a Make-A-Wish kid.
Yeah.
This is how that is our new foreign policy. Treat them like a Make-A-Wish kid. Nailed it.
I've never in my life said we should do what FIFA does about anything, because it's one of the worst, most corrupt bodies in the world. But maybe Sepp Blatter's killing it. It was none of those things. Does anyone know the real product? It is a bong shaped like the World Cup trophy.
Oh, I saw a picture of that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So a Toronto pot shop owner of Cosmic Charles, Sean Cady, said a law firm representing FIFA sent a letter Friday to both of his stores demanding he stop selling the golden bongs because they infringe on the organizer's copyright. I poked the bear. I guess it was to be expected, Cady said, noting FIFA's litigiousness. He added he wanted to frame the cease and desist, but was having trouble finding a frame big enough because the letter was too long, because they sent like a 5-page cease and desist, which it's so funny as a lawyer to myself. It's so funny that knowing that a law firm got paid thousands of dollars to write a letter to a weed guy, and all they had to write was just like, stop it, come on.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, fair enough. And instead they wrote 4 pages laying out everything that'll happen if he doesn't stop, if this very obvious novelty thing doesn't stop selling them. And apparently he'd only sold like one anyways, and it was a guy who didn't even smoke weed. He just thought it was cool. And he just wanted to keep it as a keepsake of the tournament.
That's disappointing.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know how long they were in stores before FIFA. That's the other thing, that FIFA got wind of it that quickly when he'd only sold one of them. But FIFA is incredibly litigious and protects their copyright. That's why also on some like gambling sites and whatever, it's not similar to how they can't say Super Bowl, they can't say World Cup, so it's the World Soccer Tournament or whatever
And
they're
in
calling
bars, they have to buy a license to use their imagery. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can come watch the big soccer tournament
Yeah.
at various bars because they pay for the TSN package or whatever, but you can't go watch the World Cup because, or they could probably just write Argentina versus Brazil or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, well, from a fun story to a grim one, Pokemon Go, the decade-old phenomenon, is still used by some to this day, but what unintended military impact have players been unknowingly contributing to?
I got nothing.
Nile just looks scared. Nile's got scared.
I was like,
did you play
how?
Pokemon Go? Are you worried what you
God,
did?
no.
Okay, just check.
I will say finding secret Russian Pokemon hiding in Cerulean City.
Pikachu, I choose you. Ah, he's too drunk.
I use power of vodka.
No, sadly, it is not Russian Pokemon, although that would be great. Any
I
other
feel like
guesses?
the only unintended military impact of anything, at least as claimed by the military, is murder. So I have a hard time thinking it's not that. Because that seems to be the only thing that they say is unintended.
Yeah, this might contribute that. In fairness, it's very intended by the company that is doing it. It's just not intended by the players who signed up to play Pokemon Go a decade ago.
What is this?
Military drones.
Oh, is it like, are they using their locations as maps kind of thing?
An AI company has been using the billions of real-world images captured by the players to develop navigation technologies for delivery robots, but also military drones. The AI company Niantic Spatial was spun out of Pokemon Go in May 2025 after they sold its licensed games to the Saudi-backed video game publisher Scopely. There's so many words in there that don't sound good. There's so many bad things in there. AI, military drones, and Saudi Arabia. But yeah, so they are using the insane amount of photos of streets and cities across the globe to build out their GPS technology to use in the military drones so they can get even more accurate, if they want to go, spy on or worse, a specific area of, Beirut maybe. They can go and just be like, boop, right there. So that is what they're using. All those photos people take so they can find.
That's why all the best
Pikachus and
Pokemons
shit.
are gone. Are there? Are in it's the middle of Beirut.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, it's high risk, high reward. I'm going for it.
I'm getting my Gyarados. Actually, it's probably not very.
There's only this rare Pokemon can only be found in Iran. Interesting.
Whatever world leader we're trying to kill next.
Yeah.
Next, it's popping up in North Korea.
The military is just like, oh my God, they keep doing it. I can't believe it. We won't send our
Rubio's
own
like-
people in there.
There's a Mewtwo in Cuba.
Thank you for naming an actual Pokemon that isn't just Pikachu, because that's all I had.
Nice.
Bulbasaur? I think he was one.
I think you could have just
Yeah.
made a name up.
Yeah. All right.
Just pick an object and say, like, Amon. That's basically what they ended up doing. There's like 7,000 Pokemon.
Love it.
Yeah.
It'll be like Deskmon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That might
Got
be
real
one,
and creative.
actually.
Yeah, actually.
That's not bad. Hey, not everyone can have the naming capacity of Star Wars with, Count Dooku and stuff. All right, our last question for this quiz is a complete the headline. I'm going to read a headline. It is missing some words. You fill it in for me. Northwest Territory man charged with impaired blank, and I will give you a spoiler. It is not driving.
Polar bear befriending.
Wow.
That sounds lovely.
I know.
Yeah.
I was going to say living, which has a crossover with polar bear defending. If you're just impaired living, then you
Impaired living.
24/7, baby. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
I don't know how to answer this.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
I don't know how to answer this question without sounding ignorant of Northwest Territories. I mean, I'm going to say snow blowing because, like, I feel like all our answers, except for living, maybe, but it is just seems really ignorant of Northwest Territories.
And you know what? Operating a snowblower, I'm going to bet, and maybe people from the Northwest Territories will get real mad at me. I'm betting that charge has been laid, just maybe not this time of year. Operating a snowblower, just blitzed out of your mind, just like driving over cats and stuff. I can see it happening. I can see it happening. It wasn't snowblower. If no one knows the real answer, I'll give it out. Northwest Territory man charged with impaired kayaking. The RCMP said in a news release on Friday that the bizarre incident involved a stolen kayak on Marion Lake. Police say someone reported to them that an intoxicated person had stolen their kayak and was paddling it around with a snow shovel. So snow did factor in.
Oh.
That was close.
Yeah, you were in the right world. I do like that even the cops were like, this shit's fucking bizarre, man. Like when the cops are like, this is a bizarre incident. Like, all right, we don't need the color necessarily, but I appreciate it.
I'm low-key shocked that ranks as bizarre. I feel like they get freaky up there.
I mean, yeah.
I feel like cops, if you were to pull over and talk to one of their cops, they'd be like, this was one time. All right, it's this dude and a bear. Like, I'm sure there's crazy stories.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would imagine it's real because of the just absurd amount of light they get this time of year. There's a lot less crime because literally the sun doesn't go down a lot of the day. You get like 3 hours of darkness, right? Versus like in January and February when it's, or I guess more December, when it's like dark 22 hours a day. That's when the freaky shit pops off, probably more.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Let's go up and find out.
Yeah. We'll swing by and we'll pick up a Pokemon and
Yay!
we can map out Yellowknife, I want to say, for the for the AI bots. All right. Well, no points on that one, but at the end of our quiz, our winner, David Doel. Congratulations.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
You won with a grand total of 1 point, but you still won.
Amazing.
As always on this quiz, you have won absolutely nothing, save for the right of first plug if there's anything you'd like our audience to know about.
Oh, I mean, just therationalnational.com. That gets you to the YouTube page, and just follow and subscribe and watch some videos. See if you like them. If you don't, that's okay too. All good.
With our audience, I guarantee you, if they check you out, they will very much enjoy it. It is very informative. It's a great watch. So please check out David's YouTube at The Rational National and the website rationalnational.com. Thank you so much for doing the show, David. Clare Blackwood.
You can find me on Patreon at The Very Unfunny Leftist. And you can follow me on Blue Sky at It's Clare Blackwood, same as YouTube.
Awesome. Now?
I have a good news podcast, which is still just news, you guys. Just because it's good doesn't mean it's not news. Anyway, it's called Total Annihilation. And if you are in Edmonton in August, I will be doing the Fringe Festival there from the 14th to the 23rd.
Awesome.
Come on out.
Yeah, check that out. We had an amazing show when we did the live Beaverton show there. Edmonton is a good time, so I hope they come out and support. Awesome. Also, feel free to subscribe to the Beaverton newsletter, beaverton.com/newsletter. Get the best of the Beaverton delivered to your inbox every Sunday, unless I forget. All right. Thank you so much for checking out the show. We will talk to you next week. Bye.
The Beaverton Weekly Report is produced by Andrew Rivamy in partnership with the From Superheroes Network. Visit FromSuperheroes.com to hear more great podcasts like this.